Good evening, folks. It's Diamond with the Oppenheimer Ranch Project, bringing you a grand solar minimum update on Tuesday, August 21st, 10:57 p.m. Mountain Time, 2018. You're looking at Hurricane Lane forming her own lane straight up to Kilauea, Kona, Hawaii. This is the GFS model. It shows landfall sometimes Thursday evening, inundating the lower island, completely covering it in winds gusting up to 70 miles per hour. Now, Kalaheu is the landfall for the European model. So real quick, we'll come over here and I'll show you the European model. Kalaheu is just west and north of Honolulu. And in the European model, it shows Hurricane Lane staying offshore the entire time. Now, the National Hurricane Center is taking the average of both of these models and putting the course of the eye wall just to the east of this path, which is going to wreak havoc because the northeast portion of these hurricanes are the strongest winds. So Honolulu heads up, Kalehula, or whatever this island is called, Kalaheu, is where landfall is Friday night. So we're going to know if it is going to make landfall in Kalaheu sometime Friday morning, according to the European model. Neither model is good, and Hawaii will be devastated. Which regions get devastated the most is uncertain. But according to the GFS model, it is the volcano, the Big Island, that gets hit first. And that starts Thursday afternoon as the winds start to pick up and gust. By Thursday evening, gusts of 70 miles per hour should be hitting most of the Big Island. Moving its way towards Honolulu is not spared. And we're talking millions of people, 4 million people on this island complex. Prayers out to them as they prepare for what is inevitable. Rare hurricane watch issued for Maui, Big Island, as Hurricane Lane poses increasing danger to Hawaii later this week. We've been talking about this for days. Apparently, they're picking up what we're putting down now. Hurricane watches have been issued for Maui and Hawaii counties. Lane is bordering on Cat 5. It's going to lose intensity. It will make landfall at maximum Category 2. I looked at the sea surface temperatures. It's moving into cooler waters as it moves up towards the islands. At least 2 degrees cooler, so it's going to lose intensity, definitely. Lane will curl northwestward in the next 24 hours and eventually weaken. Direct strike on parts of the Hawaiian Islands is possible. It's either going to be the southwestern tip of Kilauea or Kaleaho, or Kaleoha. Kaleaho. You know what I said. Whether the core of Lane's strongest winds affects parts of the islands remains uncertain. I guarantee it's certain. We showed you the windy model. Don't let these people downgrade this. We've been right on most of our predictions. This is not going to be good. This is coming from the National Hurricane Center, from the National Weather Service. And so there are hurricane warnings for the Big Island and watches for the rest of the islands. But Friday night, there could be landfall on this small island west of Honolulu. But we're going to know more as this storm progresses. But what is known is that every single human on every one of the Hawaiian Islands is going to be affected by the storm in very big ways. Not one single person is not going to feel the effects of this storm. This is a dangerous storm. There are going to be hurricane force winds on every one of these islands. And you need to start preparing now for power loss, up to 24 inches of rain on the Big Island or other areas. 2 feet of rain in 24 hours. That means get out of harm's way if you're by flash floods. Do not go into fast-moving water. Unfortunately, we're going to be reporting on loss of life in this region, even though we're warning people. This is serious. Get out of harm's way and be prepared. Yes, the bread and milk are missing off the shelves. 10 people killed as flash floods hit southern Italy. Torrential rain in the Pollino National Park area caused a sudden rush of floodwater. Rocks and mud through the Raganello Creek, where dozens of hikers were exploring. Now, this is in Calabria. This is where my genetics take me, and I know this. simply in my genetic code. Here's Diablo Bridge, where they were almost swept to their death. Bodies were swept up to 8 kilometers downstream. The gorge filled with water in a very short time. So far, 10 people are known to have lost their lives in this deluge. Many lived to tell the tale, but they were washed 2 miles while they were drowning to death, only to save their arse on a tree. It's true. This is just tales of things to come. Rare snow reported across central Uruguay. Whew. Does anyone even know where that is? Exceptionally rare snowfall has been witnessed across parts of Uruguay on Sunday, while an icy blast dropped soft hail over eastern Argentina. Yes, it's South America. Uruguay, located within the temperate zone of the Tropic of Capricorn, should have mild climate almost always. Freezing temperatures are unknown. Well, Al, someone wake them up. They're known now. And we're going to tell you why. And it's because of the grand solar minimum. It's because of the waning magnetosphere. And it's because it's the end of the interglacial. So, more snow on the backs are expected, especially in regions in the equator where it's not expected. Tremendo. En zonas altas de departamento La Bahía, 19 de agosto 2018. Fotos vía María Gloria. Bueno. Met hoy estación BCP. Otro video vía Serrana La Valea, Uruguay, con nieve, that's snow. 19 de agosto, 2 días, that's 2 days ago. Yeah, it's snowing on the equator. If that's not a boom, I don't know what is. Let's get on with the update. Guess what? It's more snow. Or white screen, however you want to look at it. Thanks, Al. Saudi Arabia snowfall in the middle of summer. We've been reporting on this for the last year. There have been over 14 events in North Africa, which are unprecedented. Now, while mainstream news outlets spout stories of never-ending global heat wave burning up snow, hail, rains lash parts of Saudi Arabia, creating a phenomenon never before witnessed. The streets of the southern city of Khamis, Mustayat, have been flooded out by torrential downpours. Yes, this is more water than comes all year here. A freak summer mid-snow has made many roads impassable. Only 1,700 people in the world are talking about this. Is that insane? Oh, by the way, we're banned from Twitter because I'm sick and tired of the nonsense. People are attacking the climate guy, Christopher Martz from Virginia. And I said, Governor, please, they can't be doing this to this youngster. Now, this youngster is still in high school, and yet adults are attacking him like rabid packs of dogs. It's insane, Governor. So Chris Martz, I backed him up, and they banned me from Twitter. And I'm not allowed back on Twitter until I apologize and remove the tweet. But I'm going to leave that tweet up as long as I please. Because it has gained traction, and there's been thousands of hits on that tweet. And it's not because it's hateful. It's because the person who tweeted Chris Martz was hateful. Bullies need to be put down. And I was just putting down a bully. Now, earlier this year, snow fell in the mountainous areas of Saudi Arabia's Tabuk region, and we reported on that. But it snowed on August 19th in an area it has never snowed before. And those are camels. And I'm going to just show you that I'm banned. They want me to add a phone number and associate my Twitter account and then send the code, and then I'm going to be on timeout for 24 hours and so on and so forth. Now, where am I going with this? Let me bring it in. This is true. Because if I'm shining a light from this direction, I get a square. It's called the shadow. And if I add a second light from this direction, I get a circle. Yet we're really looking at a cylinder, a three-dimensional object. Yet there's a Republican side and there's a Democrat side. And then in the center here, there's something that we three-dimensional thinkers call the truth. And it will set you free. But for many of you, it's difficult to decipher, which is why I started this channel. And I've been getting a lot of emails that almost half of the people that watch this channel don't understand half of the things I'm saying. So we're going to take it a little bit slower. Because the ruse is deep and it's in plain sight. So all the information is there. It's just not real. Because the reality is in the middle. We all bleed red. Health officials record number of mosquitoes testing positive for West Nile virus on Long Island. And this is in New York. The highest concentrations were found in Huntington. It's not looking good. And I'm going there next week. So I'm going to bring my bug repellent. Very strong M7.3 earthquake hits Venezuela at an intermediate depth. Our magnetosphere is waning, and I'm going to show you some very scary correlations to what's happening here with these earthquakes. A very strong earthquake registered at the US GSM 7.3 hit near the coast of Sucre, Venezuela, 2131 UTC on August 21st, 2018. The agency is reporting at 123.2 kilometers depth. Thankfully, it was that deep. If it was any closer to the surface, there would be extreme loss of life. Powerful earthquake hits Venezuela, sending shockwaves all the way out to Trinidad, Tobago, man. Trin City, man. So these people are outside because they're scared to death. And we don't have audio for them, but they're probably saying stuff in Spanish that says it was creepy and we don't want large blocks of cement to crush us, except this guy doesn't care right here. See him? He's just sitting under that ledge there. That's my shungite producing buckyballs in the water I drink. This is Caracas, where they were scared to death after that earthquake. Now let's take a look at what we got going on here. We have a 7.3 happening with small tsunami activity. Probably just a few inches at a depth of 123 kilometers happening at 2131 UTC on the 21st. And then we also have a 6.5 that was initially reported at 6.9 in Vanuatu. There are no other quakes of note except these two large quakes that are of note. And we're going to be talking about them. Worldwide volcano news update. We have Dukono, Reventador, Sakurajima. And Sakurajima exploded again today. 2 days in a row. Let's come over here to spaceweathernews.com and I want to talk about those tremors. Take a look at GOES magnetometer, first of all. Let's just open this up so you can all pick up what I'm putting down here. This is the 1 minute data. Positive and negative. And look what happens to the magnetometer here. And this is the region when both of those earthquakes occur. There are no articles in the mainstream about what just happened here. And there may never be. Do you hear the crickets? it's associated with a low KP index. So there's nothing to see here, but there's everything to see here. If we just come back here. So during this perturbation of the magnetic field of Earth, we've had a 7.3 and a 6.5. This 7.3 is very unprecedented in this area. This is a more normal quake, more like the antecedent to the quake. However, I digress. This should be of note. And this could easily be a master's thesis, this event alone. So if you're out there and you're in college, please pick up what I just put down. Arctic's strongest sea ice breaks up for the first time on record. Oh my goodness. Whew, they even have a picture of it. Holy shamoly. Let's blow it up. I'm really scared. Look at this. Honey, come in here. Take a look. The whole Arctic's breaking up. It's forever. The oldest stuff ever to have it. It's breaking up. One meteorologist described the loss of ice as scary. Whew, look at it. It's like not even at the bottom. Almost all of the ice to the north of Greenland is shattered and broken and mobile. Whew. No one even knows what it is. It's amazing. They have never seen anything like this. These are scientists. They've never seen large chunks of ice being flushed out through the Froms and Outer Straits into the southern waters. They cannot tell how long this open water patch will remain open. The freakish temperatures have alarmed scientists since the beginning of the year. Now the polar vortex may be eroding. I mean, it's unexplainable. They have no idea what's going on here. It's shocking. Apparently, none of them are really scientists because we learned about Heinrich events when I was an undergraduate. It's a natural phenomenon in which large armadas of icebergs break off from glaciers and traverse the North Atlantic. Now, this was first described by geologist Hartmut Heinrich in 1988, so they might not have gotten the memo. But any scientist that claims alarmism and thinks they know what they're talking about, that doesn't describe what Heinrich events are because it's totally unprecedented, is totally full of shit. And I'm sick of it. Now, these events have occurred on a predictable pattern. And guess what? The last one happened 12,000 years ago. And before that, 24,000 years ago. And before that, and so on. So guess what? We're exactly at the next Heinrich event. When the Arctic ice breaks up and moves south. As described by Bond and Lottie in 1995, Vidal et al. 1999, and Hemming in 2004, which was calibrated. So if you're going to write an article about thick ice breaking up and you don't even know what it is, then you're not a scientist. And I'm embarrassed that I'm a scientist and you claim that you are, because you don't even know what a Heinrich event is. Now let's talk about the facts and why a Heinrich event is occurring. Now, we've just exited a 200-year solar maximum, and we're headed into a very cold period. And the northern portion here of the Arctic was clinging on to multi-year ice back in 2016. You see it? And here in 2017, August 13, it's still there. Notice the rest of the Arctic has no ice. It's all purple and no ice. That's down here. No ice in the whole Arctic, which is why the global warmists were winning. But check out today. Look at the thick ice across the Arctic. And we're going to go back and we're going to do some searching here. So I'm just going to bring this back 1 year. Take a look at the difference. Come on up. Let's make it a little better. Last year and the year before and the year before. And this is the thick ice that's breaking up. And this is this year. So the thick ice is gone. And it's now down here in the inner bays. And look at also the ice shifted from this position. Watch it shift here towards Alaska. Boom. Look at the shift, hundreds of miles. Not only that, there's almost no ice thickness here in the central Arctic. And look at how thick it gets. The ice has not been this thick in August for decades. You know how thick red is? Yeah. They're not telling you that there is 20-foot thick ice in the center of the Arctic, which is unprecedented. It hasn't been there for decades. Not even close. Not in summer. So the center of the Arctic has the thickest ice in decades, but they're not telling you that. They're telling you that this ice is broken up and moving south. It's moving south due to a Heinrich event, which breaks up that ice before the entire cap freezes solid. And that's based on science. And here we are at more science. You see the end of the melt has just occurred. Well above the multi-decadal averages. The Heinrich event has cleared the old ice away, and the new glacial period is beginning. Yeah, that's 4.5 meters thick in the center of the Arctic in the middle of August. Unprecedented. Challenge me on it. Please, challenge me below in the comments. Take a look at how high the Greenland ice sheet is currently. And I want to take note that we're now above the multi-decadal average as of today, and we have only been below average for 3 weeks. Yeah, out of the last 20. We are an unprecedented building of ice on the Greenland ice sheet this year, which is why this blue line is all the way up here. And look, it turning up now. And we are going into new territory as the cosmic rays increase, as global temperatures drop, and as ice builds. The icebergs that are breaking up are going to be moving south soon into unprecedented places. Let's talk about more lack of science. Eerie sky glow called Steve isn't an aurora. It's completely unknown. We have no idea what's going on except for this guy over at Oppenheimer Ranch. Him and Adapt 2030 know that this is a Birkeland current and the electric universe community, but we don't even know what it is. It's called a glowing thing of a ball named Steve. Read the article and blow your mind. It's disgusting. They're tricking you. They want you to see the circle or the square, never the cylinder. Do you hear the crickets? They're real. It's not a track. I live in the middle of nowhere for safety. And the sky glow called Steve is an aurora. It's a type of an electrical current that connects into our ionosphere through electricity. It's called the Birkeland current. You can even see the rotating sheath. Do you see how it glows here and goes up this way? It's like a spiral. It's a rotating sheath of electricity. It's not a mystery except to the idiots that write the articles. and the people that named it Steve. Now, the EPA admits new emissions plan could lead to 1,400 premature deaths per year. Totally awesome. Thumbs up. Good job. Hey, do you know about the leak project? I do, because before I left for Colorado 4 years ago, they were just getting started. And I was in some of their first video chats. I thought Rex Bear was going to be a hero of mine. And when I got my satellite link back up just this year, I had seen he had 150,000 subs. It was insane. And guess what? Guess who dropped into Oppenheimer Ranch today? Rex did. He just pulled up and knocked on my door and freaked me out. And I gave him a quick tour, and he looked at me and he said, "Man, you're being the change exactly that you want to see. And this is awesome. And I'm going to come back tomorrow and we're going to do a radio show live on Revolution Radio. And we're going to talk about anything you want." So tomorrow night, Rex Bear is going to be here at the ranch. And we're going to stare at each other holding cordless phones. And we're going to have the most awesome 2-hour discussion ever recorded on YouTube. And you're going to get to hear it. The first thing he asked me is like, "Hey man, everyone says you don't believe in chemtrails. What's up?" And I said, "The truth will set you free, bro. There are contrails and there are chemtrails and there are conspiracy theories. But this is the truth. Please consider this before you continue talking or typing." And I told them about the increased cosmic rays causing persistent contrail nucleation. And I talked about solar radiation management, which the government is lying about. That's been happening for decades. And then I talked about hail suppression, silver iodide rockets actually causing hail to get bigger. And then we somehow diverged. And then I talked about how gluten-free diets actually reduce your lifespan by up to 2 decades. And then his mind exploded. And then he said, "Holy moly, we better do an interview." And then I was like, "Oh my God, I live right near Archuleta Mesa where the aliens are." And he said, "Oh my God, can we do a video on that?" And then he said he had a drone and we're going to fly a drone over the mesa and on and on. And it was insane. And then it got late and I had to make a video. So he's going to come back tomorrow for the show. The most insane show ever live on Revolution Radio. Rex Bear and Diamond from the Oppenheimer Ranch Project. And the show's called The Truth and Conspiracy Theory. And it might set you free or make you insane, however you want to look at it. Because this is true and this is true and this is true. Isn't that crazy? Lot to learn. Guys, I hope you got something out of the video. Times are changing. Interviews are happening. And Rex Bear is coming. I hope you're preparing for the show tomorrow. That's a boom. Be safe. We love you.